Everybody awake out there? How we doing, everybody? Because I was bored as hell. I literally was falling asleep during the main event of last night's Monday Night Raw. Let's get into it. You know, I just don't understand it. I feel like if we were talking about any other show, we would be pissed off because if, say, for example, you watch The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or whatever your show of choice might be, take that show and watch it every week and have them give you the same exact show every week. That's what watching the WWE. It's like watching a repeat of the same exact show over and over and over again. And it's starting to make me insane. We're not going to do your general run through the show like we normally do, because if you watch the show, you know that it wasn't great. And my show will end up not being great if I just repeat to you the garbage that I had to sit through last night. Now, I'm not trying to be negative, as I always keep trying to say. I am currently wearing my New Day t-shirt right now. The one with the three of them on the unicorn. Because I need to feel the power of positivity, because it was just such a negative show. We're going to use last night's show as a guide or a bullet point list to air our grievances, or to air my grievances more specifically. This show disappointed me from start to finish. You need to understand that as a fan that has been watching on the WWE Network, the CWC, I could not wait for last night's Raw. I wanted to see the Cruiserweights. I wanted this injection of energy into Monday Night Raw, this infectious, crazy, different style that most of the people that are casual fans are not experienced with, have never seen. You know, the newer viewer that is of the older mindset probably don't even remember the Cruiserweight division from the late 90s into the early 2000s. And that's a shame. But this is not even that. This is a whole new hybrid Cruiserweight division, and I could not wait to see what they were going to do with the Cruiserweights. But you know what we got? We got a popcorn fart. Because they did exactly what I knew they were going to do. They did not showcase the Cruiserweights in the proper light. They kept teasing the Cruiserweights. After every friggin' commercial break, there was Cruiserweights tonight. The screen, the little nice purple screen. Raw in the purple and silver, which was nice. But I don't want to see a screen. I want to see the Cruiserweights. There is no reason why they shouldn't have kicked this show off with a Cruiserweight match. It's what everybody was tuning in to see tonight. You've hyped up the Cruiserweight division. And it's exactly as I thought. It is not a division at all. It is going to be boiled down to a freaking segment. It's the Cruiserweight segment. And we're going to have one Cruiserweight segment every single night on Monday Night Raw. I mean, albeit the match was good. It's a Fatal 4-Way. And let's get into that. Fatal 4-Way again? Triple threats? Fatal 4-Ways, 5-Ways, 6-pack challenges. It's the same goddamn show. Even the pay-per-views are falling victim because we're getting a triple threat match again for the women's title, the Raw Women's title. What are we doing? Why can't we have just one-on-one matches anymore? Why can't they learn how to build a proper story? What the hell are they doing putting a 10-man tag up with every tag team you have on Raw and Jericho and Sami Zayn? What is the point of this match? Zero. Absolute zero. There was nothing at all good about that segment, good about that match, especially when you factor in that we sat through 10 to 15 minutes of Jericho, which I don't complain about listening to Jericho, but Jericho and Enzo and Cass doing a little back and forth in the ring, and that's entertaining to me. But then it got nonsensical. It got retarded. We had the Shining Stars, and then the New Day, and then Gallows and Anderson, and then Sami Zayn. Like, everybody just show up to the party, People that have nothing to do with this Chris Jericho segment. Chris Jericho's out there going off on Mick Foley and he gets attacked by the tag team division. How does that make sense? Somebody explain it to me because it doesn't make sense. That is exactly how I feel. I feel fucking cuckoo. It's just more of the same stupidity by this creative team, the lack of creative team, and it's just not coming together. The new era is not a new era at all. Let's think about what we've seen tonight, guys. We've seen a very heavy, authority-central television show. We open with the Authority. We see Mick Foley and Stephanie about a dozen times tonight. There was no need for them to be involved that much. Where's the action? Where's the new era? Where's all these one-on-one matches? You have to go up against Monday Night Football now, and you give us this dreck, this absolute filth for my eyes. Another Braun Strowman squash match against Sin Cara? Are you killing Sin Cara? Is that it? Are we done with him? Does he mean nothing that we could just feed him to Braun Strowman every single week now? The same exact thing we saw last week, we're seeing it again. It's the very same match. Fast forward to Bo Dallas, another 1.5 minute match, squash match, where Bo Dallas wins. This out of nowhere building up of Bo Dallas against all these ham and eggers and these pencil neck jabronis that we don't care two shits about. Put Bo Dallas in there against freaking Braun Strowman. How about that? Let's try something different here, guys. But no, this is what we get. A nice, long toilet flush. Because that's what it felt like to watch Monday Night Raw last night. That's exactly what it felt like. The cruiserweights were not showcased properly. The women, once again, were just thrown all into one match. The tag team division thrown all into one match. And you know what? Just for flavor, we'll throw Chris Jericho in there and Sami Zayn. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's just get them all out in one segment so we can have Stephanie or Mick or somebody stand in the ring and just yam at us for no good reason. Not progressing any stories, not telling anything we don't already know. And then we're only going to see it again with a replay at the 9 o'clock hour and the 10 o'clock hour and showing you why we have a steel cage main event between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. The fact that Roman Reigns was in the main event last night on a night where the cruiserweights were supposed to be highlighted as the new premier division on Monday Night Raw is just a goddamn travesty. It's a travesty. That show should have went off the air with a cruiserweight match. That was the point of last night's show. Let's put aside the fact that you're supposed to be building up towards the Clash of the Champions. This is the go-home show here, people. And what are you giving us? You're giving us randomness. You're giving us a once, not once in a lifetime, but for the first time, is what I'm trying to say. First time ever matchup between Seth Rollins and Rusev, and we don't even know who the good guy is in this situation. We feel it, like we feel him, Seth Rollins, that is, becoming this crowd favorite, but it's like they're holding it back. They don't want to fully do it, and maybe that's a good thing if they're going to reform the Shield, like I talked about on the Nightmare Room this weekend. If you haven't watched that, please go check it out on YouTube. Don't forget to watch it. Press that like button, hit that subscribe button so you're always watching and always informed. If the only reason that they're holding back is to hold off on this reformation of the Shield, then I'm all for it. That's a fantastic idea. Like I said, it's going to put all the pieces in their proper places. It may not feel like Seth Rollins could be a good guy, but let me tell you something. He will be just fine. He can wrestle a good guy style. He can talk a lot of smack and still get away with being a good guy, a la Stone Cold Steve Austin. He doesn't have to come out and be the smiley, jerk-off babyface that nobody likes like Apollo Crews. He could come out and be a badass, on the edge, kind of pushing the envelope of that good guy role the way Stone Cold did back in the day. It's a fantastic spot for him. I think he'll be able to flourish there. And he will give the rub to Roman Reigns because they will reform, they'll be friends again. Roman will be now cheered the way they want him to be cheered because he's not going to be the focal point of the show. He's going to be a piece of the Shield again. And that is what he needs to be in order for everybody to finally get on board and get behind Roman Reigns. There needs to be something more to him, and doing this with the Shield coming back together, whether they get Ambrose involved or not, even just the two of them as the dynamic, is going to bring something new, something different, something fresh out of Roman Reigns, even though it's kind of going back to where he came from, because he never had a chance in the Shield to really shine. He was just the muscle. But now you have a chance, and putting him back under the wing of a guy like Seth Rollins, who can maybe nurture his character and bring out that inner thing that Vince McMahon sees that forces him to shove Roman Reigns in my eyeballs every single Monday in main events he shouldn't be in. So they give us Seth Rollins versus Rusev, and I never noticed how much alike these two guys look. Seth Rollins looks like a skinny version of Rusev, or vice versa that. Rusev looks like Rollins on steroids. It's kind of weird. It was a little awkward, and the match wasn't bad. It was just hard to gauge the feeling of the crowd, they were pro Seth Rollins, but I don't think they felt like they were supposed to be. And while we're on the topic of the crowd, Memphis, Tennessee should just be renamed Deadsville, Tennessee. I am so disappointed in Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee is supposedly a wrestling town. This is the home of Jerry the King Lawler. There have been countless moments, classic wrestling historical moments that have happened in Memphis. This is supposed to be a wrestling savvy crowd, even for a southern down home type of area. They know wrestling. They're supposed to care about wrestling. But do you know what they cared about? They cared about whatever was up in the rafters. Because if you go back and watch, everybody just keeps freaking looking up. They're looking up like something's happening up there. What's happening? What's going on in the lights? Is there a bird up there? What's in the lights? I don't understand. What are they looking up at? What are they looking up at? They got their hands in their jock or underneath their ass. They're sitting on their hands. And they're looking up at the sky. As if that's where the cruiserweights are going to come from. And when they didn't come from the sky, they didn't care. Because when the cruiserweight match finally came out, the Fatal 4-Way that Mick Foley tried to announce, they just sat there. They sat there like a bunch of jerk-offs, staring at each other. Oh, hello. Are you from Memphis? Did you come to see Raw? Because I came to see Raw, but I'm going to sit here and stare at you. Oh, wait, you came in the car with me? You're my cousin? Holy shit! Check it out. I'm at Raw with my cousin. Oh, who's on my right? Who's on the right? Oh, hello, man. Can I shake your hand? You seem to be nice. Do you have chickens in your house, too? What the hell are they looking at? They're not watching the action. Holy shit. What happened to the wrestling fans in Memphis, Tennessee? Watching that show and watching this crowd sleeping through 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, wondering about the farm, and maybe dreaming about the apple pie they left on the stove when they left for Raw this evening, and now I'm gone for 3 hours. I don't know what I'm watching. And Bessie needs milk. We gotta bring milk to Bessie. Don't forget the milk. What were they watching? What were they looking at? I don't understand it. These crowds are getting worse and worse, and the obvious solution is to set Raw and SmackDown. Any live televised event should be on a running loop of major cities, and only major cities. New York, Chicago, Orlando, Toronto, Montreal, anywhere in California, Las Vegas, Dallas, Texas, maybe. Not Corpus Christi, but Dallas. Any of the major cities where they have real wrestling fans. I don't even mention New York because I'm sitting in New York. So why would I have to mention New York? Obviously, this is Madison Square Garden, hello. I'll give props to even Boston. Boston's got great fans. The Boston Garden was a historical place of wrestling. These are the places Raw needs to come from, because when you're showing us this product on TV, it's not coming across as anything special anymore. Go back to any goddamn show from the late 90s and 2000s before everything started to suck really bad. The crowds were rabid. Nobody was sitting down on their hands, counting the eggs in their fridge at home that they remember. That's not what we did. We went there, decked out in our t-shirts, signs all over the place that you could barely even see faces in the crowd because everybody had something to say with their sign, or somebody to support with their sign. Signs that lit up, signs that moved and had motion, and the fans even had character. And those are the fans that I don't know where you guys are. These people that are coming to Raw are the people that just watch every week, maybe because their kids watch. And all these jagoffs in the front rows are these people that are like corporate idiots that get tickets through whatever, StubHub and this and that because, oh, this seems like it would be a fun thing to do. Let's go try this. It's not like going to a baseball game, everybody. They want active participation. They don't want you just sitting there staring like a goddamn moo cow. Terrible. Terrible representation of the fans in Memphis, and it totally dragged the show down. These guys didn't wake up until halfway through the Cruiserweight match. When somebody, I think it was Grand Metalik, finally did his little corner foot thing on the second rope where he goes from the one corner around the post to the other corner on his ropes. And then everybody was like, oh, what was that? Oh my God, what was that? I gotta watch this match now. What was that? How did he move his feet like that? Maybe we should stare in the ring now. The guy with the mask that looks like Rey Mysterio, he did some kind of cool foot thing. Let's pay attention. Let's pay attention now. Clap, 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 clap. Get out of here. Get out of my arena. Get away from my television show. Get away from my wrestling because you're ruining the experience for me at home. Not that they're giving me anything that great to watch in the first place. And really, what else is there to even talk about? I got more character and more personality coming from my microphone, Blue. Hello, Blue. Oh, you're shiny and chrome. You've got character. You look like a little robot guy. You got a little red light on your head. You're more interesting than the fans in Memphis, Tennessee. Terrible. I've had enough of it. And yet we'll keep watching, and I'll tune in next week because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I love wrestling. And I never give up the hope that there's going to be a good show. Eventually. I mean, all in all, what did we have here? We had nothing. We're going into a pay-per-view this Sunday, and we got nothing. I mean, we know the matches on the card, but what reason do we have to care about these matches? Why weren't Sami Zayn and Chris Jericho featured in their own segment? To try to build towards this sudden feud that they're having, because Sami Zayn was Kevin Owens' best friend, and now Chris Jericho believes he's Kevin Owens' best friend. They have a storyline to work with. And they did nothing with it. They put him in a 10-man tag. It doesn't make any sense. I keep saying it because that's what keeps coming to mind. The more I look over my notes and the show review that I have written here, there's really nothing to talk about. Does it really matter what they did? No. You showed 1,000 promos for the Cruiserweight division. We had 100 commercials in between every match. Again, got to see Chris Chrisley all night. Got to talk about thetruth.com. We got to see all the public relations vignettes and all the stupid things they do outside of wrestling. Stop trying to self-promote yourself. It doesn't matter to us. The people that matter to were there for that event. And I understand you're trying to promote awareness, but enough is enough at some point. Enough is enough. I tune in each and every week to watch wrestling, and I do not get enough wrestling. And whenever they decide that they're finally going to stop bullshitting and get to the wrestling, halfway through the match, or sometimes right at the beginning of the match, commercials. Commercials, because we haven't seen enough commercials. It's Monday Night Commercial. That should be the name of the show, because that's all I really remember seeing. Whenever it comes down to the wrestling, they don't want us at home to watch the wrestling. I think they're doing it on purpose to try to make us all buy tickets to go see it live, because that's the only way you get to see any wrestling. Yeah. Anyway, what else was there to talk about? Absolutely nothing. What? What are we going to talk about? Dana Brooke? Boring. I don't want to talk about Miss Piggy. She has no interest to me. I just absolutely despise her. What? I mean, and when is that implosion finally going to happen? We have her and Charlotte on this on again, off again nonsense. Come on, enough. Let's progress the story. Why did Bayley take a pinfall? You made her look bad. Like, nothing they did tonight made sense. The women's stuff didn't make sense. You had a promo package for Nia Jax and Alicia Fox. They announced they're going to have a match on the kickoff show. Big deal. Nia Jax should be on the pay-per-view, not on the kickoff show. There's just too many bad things that happened during a Raw in which I expected to be happy and entertained and excited for the future of Monday Night Raw. But once again, they dropped the ball with the lead into their pay-per-view this Sunday. They dropped the ball with the way they're showcasing the women. They dropped the ball by putting Roman Reigns in the main event again as he continues to get booed and booed and booed out of every building. He should not be in the main event. They dropped the ball completely with the cruiserweights, and instead of having 2 or 3 very exciting, high-flying, high-impact contests between a couple of these guys, showcasing them all in a more individual manner, and then having the winner maybe that night go on to face each other, and then that winner go to fight TJ Perkins for the title at the Clash of Champions. Some kind of a mini tournament type of thing to showcase the cruiserweights. But that's not what they did. They threw them in one match, and then they went to commercial for us at home, so we only got to see about 1/3 of the match. And we got Brian Kendrick as the winner, moving on to be the first #1 contender to the Cruiserweight Championship. And that I look forward to as a match, but we have zero build. You didn't even have TJ Perkins, the Cruiserweight Champion, who's supposed to be the face of the division and supposed to be the flag bearer for the Cruiserweights. He didn't even come out on Raw. He didn't even come out. You didn't show us the belt. You didn't have him cut a promo. You didn't have him come out and maybe shake hands with the other competitors, because that's a thing. You know, that's something that could have set the Cruiserweights apart. Keep it the way it was. That match wasn't even a Cruiserweight match. These guys were allowed to go out there and throw it down. And no handcuffs, no strings attached. Go out there and do what you do. That was their instruction. Now they're at Monday Night Raw, and they were most likely told to go out there and do this, do that. Don't do this. This is Monday Night Raw. This is not the Cruiserweight Classic, Mr. Cruiserweight. Don't do this. We don't want you to do these flippies and this or that. Just do it very, very little. Don't worry about it. Just listen to us in the creative, you guys, and you guys do your little flippies, but not too much. You know, tone it down, because we don't want you guys to look better than Roman Reigns. We don't want you guys to look better than Seth Rollins and all the other people that we know you're going to outshine them. So don't do it, because I'm creative, and that's what I said. It's not happening. Terrible representation of the Cruiserweights. I knew this is what they were going to do. It's just not happening the way it should be. And I can only hope, as I like to say, I can only hope that Triple H or somebody turns around and goes, wow, that didn't work. Let's try something else, because this new era and 2016 of WWE Raw so far has been nothing but a commercial nightmare. No pun intended. So, guys, that's the show today. As you know, what I think about it already. Big, nothing, absolutely nothing to be excited about. Have no reason to look forward to the Clash of Champions, but I will be sitting on my couch watching, starting at 7 this Sunday night on the WWE Network. Free plug for you there, WWE. Stop paying me, please. So, thank you once again, all of my friends, for being a part of this show, for taking a listen to what I have to say. I'm really glad you've come along with me so far. I hope you've been enjoying the ride. I hope you continue to latch your wagon onto the Nick Nightmare train and continue to support the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show and the Nightmare Room exclusively on YouTube. Don't forget to follow us anywhere you're listening to us. Don't forget to leave a comment, because I want to know what you people are thinking about what I'm thinking. Don't forget also to tune in tomorrow for our SmackDown review. Hopefully, I don't fall asleep during tonight's show. The 2-hour time limit kind of makes it a little bit easier to digest, and kind of before you start to get too fed up with it, it's kind of over. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know what I'm going to do with no Cruiserweight Classic anymore, and now I'm not even going to have Cruiserweight matches, apparently. So there's going to be a big void in my Wednesday nights after NXT. I'm not going to know what to do. I'm used to having, over the summer now, an hour of quality wrestling, and I'm going to now be without that, as the rest of you will be. And if you have not watched the Cruiserweight Classic, and you do have the WWE Network, I implore you to go back, watch it from the beginning. It's the best wrestling you'll ever see for the modern day era. It's what WWE should be striving to become like, and it obviously is not going that way. I am Nick Nightmare. This is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, your source for news, rumors, highlights in the world of professional wrestling. I love you guys as always. For Blue, the Snowball microphone, I want you guys to have a good day. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.